thanks. And this is a presentation of our common work of a bigger team, like teams from Prague and from Zvolen. And we were doing some experiments in coastal Černý lesy. I need some light to see.
You need light.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay. That we think that we have two basic type of stress which caused by beetle attack, and this is the example of acute stress on forest edges. Normally in mountains, by beetle attack, trees on forest edges caused by wind damage or harvesting. And we have also the different type of stress, and we could call it chronic stress. And by beetle attack, not trees on forest edges, but they do the disparate attack inside of forest stands. This is a picture from northern Slovakia, and that was stress caused by drought and malaria attack on trees, and attack was dispersed. We have some working theory. I think I presented in first seminar of RESDINET. I will present just on only short part of this, and this is based on this that we think that the beetle attack is connected with temperature regime. And in healthy forest, trees tend to have stable temperatures, like especially the tree crowns, but trunks exposed to sun are warmer. And it doesn't work.
Okay, then I don't know.
Sorry. Maybe it work.
Okay.
And then when we have drought stress, trees tend to be warmer, not only on forest edges, but in stand interior. And based on this stress on the temperatures, we have bark beetle attack. Basically, we have a hypothesis that at spring, beetles attack trees on forest edges and from bases. And then when it's summer, in healthy stands, beetles tend to attack trees on forest edges, but higher on the trunk because basis of tree is warm. And there is a very hot summer or in lowland, beetle doesn't attack trees on forest edges, and they attack stand interior. And this was basis of our experimental working in Czechia in coastal Černými lesy. And it was a long time project, and at the beginning we were so ambitious, and we had quite nice experimental design to test the different kind of stresses in experimental plots. This is our basic experimental block. When we wanted to make acute stress on forest edges and chronic stress on roofs, and we wanted to have combinations, and we planned to have 5 replications. This was a starting plan, which was very ambitious, but we had then so many complications, and basically at the beginning we established a large network of trees with sensor in basic stage. Without any treatment, we wanted to have something like basic year. And sensor were installed in 2018. And based off this background year or the control year, we had many data, and we had done some publications. This is example. We had luck that we have many sensors or more than 100 trees. Later, we had done some pilot experiment but which I did at forest edges make this. They make conditions nice for bark beetles, but unfortunately, beetles didn't attack forest edges. I wasn't happy with this. Then we wanted to make some better experiment, and I still hope that bark beetle will attack forest edges, or we will see some activities. And after many complications in year 2022, we established new experiment based on this original studied areas. We modified the design, and we have done. We plan to have a very perfect experiment, but we had as well some complications. And we make some more simple experimental design. We wanted to have acute stress on forest edges as we planned, but we had only chronic stress made by roofs, and plot C and D like we have on this picture work control, that we have basically 3 variants, but we use 4 sample subplots. And at the beginning, we had five replications. And this is a picture of roofs, like we built roofs to protect rain to go into soil to simulate drought stress. Then we had forest edges. I think they were cut it just before in winter before experiment, and this is normal conditions where beetle attacked the trees, mostly in mountains. And then this is control stand, like without any disturbance, without roofs and forest edges. And then we make this bark beetle inoculation boxes. This is new to the design. Before we use design mostly used in Austria by Netherlands team, but we wanted to have like smaller boxes, and we wanted to have like free contact with open air, and we didn't use glasses or dark boxes, but we use net to don't influence bark beetle attack. And we didn't use natural beetles from forest. We use beetles from breeding in a laboratory to have good, healthy beetles from standard conditions. And what we have done, we put beetles to the boxes to check their behavior, whether they will make holes or not. And we use this check globe airplane with 3 sensors to have hyperspectral data from attack to the trees, and we use 1 month monitoring period, and we have as well use LiDAR. This is like fly plant, double these plots. And there was one big thing in our experiment, that we plan to have full sapflow and other data, but we have complications with procurement, and we had to reinstall sensors, but we have complications that this main part that they didn't work. This is very bad. But the beetles work, and some of the beetles didn't bore, but some of them bore. Then we have some differences in boring to these boxes. And this is June. This experiment was done in June, And we find that most boring activity was in plots with roofs, less in forest edge, and minimal in standing interior. It means that somehow we couldn't manage beetles to attack forest edges even second time, but they attack. They were more active in the roof plots. And this is an example of our data from airplane. And you can see there like a clear cut on plot B, and you cannot see roofs and control plots. And then we wanted to find some index which would explain our data. And we tested many indexes, but only this works so good. And this is done by Langing. Thank you for index. And what do we see? These are not final data because we are starting to deal with the data. But we see at the beginning there was not big difference between trees in these indexes. But later, what we see that like blue and red are the treatments plots, and blue are basically forest edges, and red are roofs. And we see the differences between the control trees, which are green and yellow, and are the treatments. But this is not homogeneous. Sometimes this is index higher in plots with roofs, and sometimes higher in plots with forest edges. And like this, I think we think that we see that this index, the differentiate is different in the time. I think it is connected with water stress and like rain and drought periods. And we need further work on this. And to conclude, I think that there are differences between beetle attack in mountains, when beetles tend to attack forest edges, and lowland, because this coastal Lessie was in low elevation, 400 meters. And it seems that in low elevation, beetles doesn't like to attack forest edges. And then this new index NDRS could explain our data, but we need more work. Thanks, and this is all.
Okay, and I think we have time for.
Mickey.
Okay, thank you. I think we have time for one or two quick questions. Yes.
Thanks, Rastislav, for your excellent talk. And I would like to know if there are differences in resistance of host trees between different altitudes. For example, resinous flow. Did you measure resinous flow at different altitudes, and how effective trees are while defending against bark beetles at different altitudes with resinous flow?
I think that this was done by sub-team of Hiroshova, but we have done it only in this coastal, not Sterling Lessie. We don't have gradients. I think this is a good idea for next future work, but I think that there's supposed to be the differences, but we don't have any data about this. I think this is like new. It is a new experiment to have plots in the different altitudes.
Yes, we have one other question here.
Thanks, Russ, for a great presentation. Early in your presentation, you mentioned that one of the hypotheses was that the warm temperature would have an impact on the stress and the attacks. Did you consider to actually put in thermometers in the trunks of the trees to see how these different groups were affected temperature-wise?
I think basically in all the design we have this temperature sensor from both sides, and it's but we had the trouble to connect it with Beetle attack, and we didn't make it on these plots. This system didn't work because of this the technical problem in year 2022. But from our other data, like forest edge is still warmer. I think we have data, and this paper of Jiroshova, not Shibska, 2022, and they show that this environment on forest edges is warmer, and it should be better for beetles, but it was maybe too warm to beetles to attack.
Okay, thank you.